On social media, there's a lot of talk about personal brand. So, in this episode of the Smart Connector podcast, we're going to look at what personal branding is and whether you need to develop yours. We'll also look at the 7 elements that make up a strong personal brand, how to measure its impact, and how to raise your visibility, authority, and credibility through yours. Before we get into it, though, I'd like to invite you to rate and subscribe to our podcast and share this episode if you can think of others this would help. This means we can get our message out to more people and make a positive impact in the world. So before we dive in, and as a brand expert with decades of experience, I do need to say from the start that personal brand can sometimes be irrelevant. There's an assumption flying around that when any business owner lacks visibility and their personal brand is weak, it will negatively impact their business performance and results. But statistics just don't support that. There are many entrepreneurs today who are developing wildly profitable businesses without having any form of public profile or personal brand. Likewise, there are many skilled and talented senior executives who are barely visible online, yet who are steering the profits and performance of their organizations in pretty spectacular ways. So today we're going to clear up the confusion around this topic so that you'll know whether you need a personal brand or not, and if so, how much emphasis and effort you should be putting into yours. You'll also understand why employees rarely focus on their personal brand and tend to use social media for social purposes only. And you'll learn why transitioning executives who are building a business based around their own talents and expertise often struggle to express themselves online. And you'll recognize the role and impact of a business brand and whether it can do the heavy lifting of shaping perception in your marketplace instead. So let's first look at the relentless rise of personal brand. In the pre-internet era, businesses of all types focused on building and promoting their business brand. And the reason for this was that media was very costly and only bigger organizations with large budgets could buy exposure in the form of advertising or point-of-sale campaigns. Now, small businesses at that particular time, they tended to operate in local markets, and marketing was a luxury they couldn't afford. They focused on sales instead, which they achieved through local networking and tactical promotions such as local newspaper ads, leafleting, and cold calls. Now, the rise of social media in the digital age changed the business landscape forever. It leveled the playing field and meant anyone could build a personal brand online without it costing them anything in the first instance other than effort. Now, as a result of this, the quality of services delivered became less influential to the growth of a business than someone's reputation and the perception of value that was linked to that. People do buy people, and many readily embrace the transparent online environment that enabled them to browse before they buy. However, there was a problem with this, which was that people are not always what they seem. The rise of personal brand provided unparalleled opportunities for fraudsters, fakers, and narcissists to present themselves as credible entrepreneurs and authorities. The Tinder swindler, the bad vegan, Gerald Cotton. Watch the Netflix documentary Trust No One About Him. Elizabeth Holmes, jailed CEO of Theranos. Billy McFarland of Fire Festival. The list is endless, and this made many ethically orientated professionals and business owners associate personal brand with questionable motives. They were repelled by the idea of a personal brand making them appear vain or narcissistic. The Instagram influencers with their private jets, laptop lifestyles, perfect bods, and bling bling affected the mental health and expectations of impressionable young people. And parents in particular were really concerned about the impact of this. So as a result, many older entrepreneurs as well as professionals just got nervous of personal exposure for these reasons and decided to stay invisible instead, just venturing out from time to post a walk in the hills on Facebook or brag about their children's achievements. Now, what a shame, as by rejecting the power of social media to differentiate and separate, they also rejected the most powerful business and personal tool on the planet. Okay, so now you may be wondering, what is a personal brand? How do you actually define it? Well, a personal brand showcases your reputation, expertise, and the value you offer to others. And it shapes and manages the way that you're perceived in your marketplace. It helps you develop your reputation, expertise, and unique difference. which creates a distinct and memorable impression and sets you apart from your rivals. And this is particularly important if you're selling your own services as a consultant, coach, or professional service provider. Now, all service based industries such as consulting, coaching, and professional services rely on the expertise and reputation of their professionals. And in these industries, a strong personal brand will directly impact your ability to attract clients, secure contracts, and maintain long term relationships. And this is because if you are the leader of a small service based business, your client's expectation is that they buy into you. Therefore, by developing your personal brand, you're building a bridge to know, like, and trust, which shortens the sales cycle and creates positive associations even before you've connected in person. So, let's look now at how to develop your personal brand. So, a personal brand consists of the following elements. So, the first is identity, which means you'll need to explore and define your core values, strengths, skills, and passions. And this requires self awareness and clarity about your unique attributes and the aspects that set you apart from those who do something similar. And the second is target audience. You should identify your intended audience or target market and tailor the brand message and positioning to resonate with their specific needs, preferences, and interests. Now, the third is brand image. You'll need to cultivate a cohesive brand image that reflects your desired reputation. And this will include elements such as visual identity, for example, logos, colors, fonts, even your clothing, tone of voice, and your overall communication style. And the fourth is your online presence. It really is important if you want a personal brand to work for you to establish and maintain a strong online presence and get visible through social media platforms, personal websites, blogs, and professional communities. Curate and share content that aligns with your values and engages with your target audience's interests. Now, the fifth is thought leadership. You should look to position yourself as an expert or thought leader in your industry or niche. Share insights, knowledge, and experience through content creation and public speaking. Participate in industry events and engage with relevant networks and conversations. The sixth is networking and relationships. You'll need to build and nurture relationships with others in your industry or field of expertise. Actively engage with peers, mentors, clients, and influencers to expand your networks, collaborate, and create new opportunities. The seventh is authenticity and being real, presenting yourself in a way that aligns with your true values, beliefs, and personality. And this establishes trust and builds a deeper emotional connection and rapport with your audience. Now, you may be thinking, why does all this matter? Why can't you just get out there and post just anything to get noticed and get attention? Well, it's important to remember that anyone can create noise. It's really not that hard to post relentlessly on social media with irrelevant content that gets ignored. Now, when you do this, you don't really have a personal brand. This is just spray and pray, as it's called. And even if you're spending hours a day creating and posting content without the right strategy underpinning it, you won't get results. I mean, posting anything that interests you, funny stuff, cute animals, political opinions, what you had for lunch, celebrity gossip, your dating journey, and so on, is completely different from developing a personal brand that monetizes. And that requires strategic and consistent effort towards your end goal to get clients into your business and to start conversations that convert into profit. So, now let's look at when personal brand doesn't matter. Now, if the thought of developing a personal brand actually fills you with dread, and if you just want to stay private, for example, you absolutely can do this too. So let's look at the professional and business choices where having a personal brand is unimportant. So your first option is to remain employed. One way to avoid the need to build a personal brand is to stay employed because when you're in employment, you enjoy the halo effect of the organization you work for. Being a doctor in the NHS, that's the National Health Service here in the UK, for example, gives you status and credibility that's borrowed from an organisation that has been in the public eye for 85 years. In any large organization, customers associate with the company rather than the individual personalities. Therefore, maintaining and developing the organizational brand as opposed to the individuals within it is always going to be the priority. However, if you're an employee who's looking to move to another company, get promoted, start a side hustle, or leave to start your own business, your personal brand does matter and you should be putting some effort into it. It helps to show a sunny, together side of yourself, which highlights your experience and character in an appealing way. However, your brand would not need to be evolved to the same extent as someone whose current income actually depends on it. Now, the second option is to develop a product-centric business. This is if you don't want to develop your personal brand. So many businesses focus primarily on the features, quality, and value of their products rather than the individuals behind them. And in such cases, personal brand plays a lesser role, as the products themselves are the drivers of customer loyalty and repeat purchases. Industries like manufacturing, consumer goods, SaaS, that's software as a service, and e commerce have product centric branding strategies. I mean, yes, brand is still a huge driving force of their success, but consumers will be making buying decisions based on the products and overall business, as the chances are they'll never directly encounter the people behind them. Option three, if you don't want to develop your personal brand, is to collaborate as a team. Now, certain industries rely very heavily on collaborative efforts and teamwork, and when this is the case, the significance of personal brand lessens. When multiple professionals work together to deliver services, for example, in my old agency world, the focus is on the collective expertise and capabilities of the team rather than those individual personal brands. Other examples include research institutions, healthcare organizations, property construction and development businesses. So let's now look at some examples of successful businesses where personal brand is irrelevant. So we'll start with Coca-Cola. Now, of course, you all know Coca-Cola is an iconic brand that's recognized globally by most households, probably across the world. Now, while individuals within the company contribute to its success, the corporate brand is by far the most valuable. Consumers' loyalty to Coca-Cola is driven by the brand's reputation, quality, taste, and marketing efforts, rather than the specific individuals who work within it. Then there's Amazon. The company's success is driven by factors such as convenience, vast product selection, fast shipping, and customer service. While founder and CEO Jeff Bezos played a pivotal role in Amazon's growth, the brand itself evolved through the business's identity and performance rather than his personal brand and profile. Now, have you heard of Procter& and Gamble? So P&G, Procter& and Gamble, is a multinational consumer goods corporation known for its wide range of household products, and their success stems from its portfolio of trusted brands like Tide, Pampers, Gillette, and Crest. The personal brand of individuals within this FMCG, that's fast-moving consumer goods company, does not play any part at all in consumer purchasing decisions. Now, in contrast, developing personal brands really matters for businesses in service-based industries such as consulting, coaching, and professional services, because these heavily rely on the expertise and reputation of their professionals. In such industries, this directly impacts your ability to attract clients, secure contracts, and maintain long-term relationships. Industries that thrive on thought leadership and innovation, such as technology, design, and creative sectors, also benefit greatly from personal branding. And individuals who establish themselves as industry influencers and trendsetters gain credibility, visibility, and a competitive edge, driving industry wide conversations and attracting new opportunities. Also, for early stage entrepreneurs and startups, personal brand is definitely part of the identity of the business itself. The vision and profile of the founders are so important in those early days because when the company lacks established brand recognition, their personal brands will do the work instead to attract investors, key partners, and customers too. Now let's look at the benefit of having a strong personal brand. Now, the first is trust and credibility. So, we're living in an era of skepticism and information overload. So, establishing trust and credibility is really important for all businesses. And personal branding enables individuals to position themselves as industry experts and thought leaders, which is a great way of building trust and confidence with your target audience. And this is particularly important for industries where prospects seek assurance and reassurance before committing to a purchase. The second is it humanizes your products. And by this, I mean it gives a human face to products or services that might otherwise seem a little dull, dry, or difficult to understand. Especially for B2B businesses that offer more complex products and services, personal brands work to establish emotional rapport. And this generates a sense of relatability, humanizes the product or service line, and strengthens commitment and customer loyalty. In other words, they work like an insurance policy to keep the interest and attention of your target audience high. The third reason to have a strong personal brand is differentiation in a crowded marketplace. Especially in very competitive red ocean industries, businesses often struggle to differentiate themselves from their competitors, and personal brands provide an avenue for individuals to showcase their unique outlook, experience, and skills to set them apart from the crowd. The fourth is expanding networks and opportunities. So, strong personal brand will always open doors to new opportunities, collaborations, and partnerships. By establishing an appealing online presence and cultivating a network of like minded individuals, it just becomes so much easier to expand your reach and attract valuable new connections. And this is especially beneficial for freelancers, consultants, and entrepreneurs who rely on their personal reputation and network to secure deals. In today's interconnected world, your personal brand is an increasingly important aspect of professional as well as entrepreneurial success. However, and as I hope you understand now, it will be most effective within service based industries, thought leadership driven sectors, and startups. As the online landscape continues to evolve, it's important to evaluate the relative importance of personal brand for you. So, by understanding the benefits of personal brands, businesses can leverage this powerful tool to cultivate trust, establish their difference, and build sustainable success. So that's it for today's episode. If you'd like to build or strengthen your personal brand, make sure to book a call with myself or a member of my team. We have so many tools and tactics that can help you, but it all starts with a conversation. Look forward to seeing you again, and thanks for staying until the very end.